and gentlemen, we're now. Oh, there's Pedro. So, ladies and Pedro, we are now live. Pedro wants to come back. Where are you going? Don't run away.
Oh, he's gonna move over all these women.
Right? Save me.
If you live, I go to the other side. Come on.
No, go ahead.
Go by what?
I said we're live. Phones away. Conversations away.
I'm here, so
Yogurts.
phones away, please.
No, you can't do. I'm just.
All right, guys. First of all, let me tell you, and appreciate, thank you for you guys doing here. Thank you for listening to these guys. And you guys know that we have a referral program.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And today's the last class. So here you are. We have
So we're getting pizza?
We have two people that actually on this class that refer somebody to us. So I would like to just, it's you, right?
No.
Yeah.
Deja's.
It's Asian?
Mm-hmm.
Who's referring?
Who did you refer?
You refer somebody, right? You refer? Thank you for referring. Thank you.
Who?
And you refer somebody. Thank you very much. I got it.
Easy. Who?
Nice, we in consideration.
Where is he?
Him.
Where is he right
He's gonna
now?
start in October, he told me.
Okay, so when he starts, you get paid.
Oh.
So guys, thank you. So and if you know anybody, just
Thank you.
You can come back up to the camera. It's okay.
It should be Pedro Mota and.
Wait, so did you
Yeah. No.
yeah.
refill the
Why?
card or you get a different one every
You see Bruno every day.
You'll get a different one.
Naming that dude, come on.
This is so.
Ka-ching. Okay, bye, bro. I'm going to the next. She's taking me too.
What? That's it?
Thank you.
So thank you for the referrals. Pedro and I appreciate it. New Direction School appreciates it. This is for the commercial.
Okay, now I'm very motivated.
And that's your first check in real estate. Congratulations. That's it. First check in real estate.
Can we get a picture so you can put it in the hallway?
Sure.
Where?
In the hallway.
What?
Have a nice class.
No.
Oh, and by the way, when's the test?
Thursday.
Thursday. All right.
We're good to do. At 7.
Half of them will be here. Half of them will be there with you. All right. Silence. Ooh.
Bye, guys. Good luck.
All the pressure.
If you start to be too hot, let me know. I'm gonna stay around for an hour more.
You wanna bring pizza for the last time?
No, that's food and drinks with that guy.
Oh.
This guy's teaching. Cannot order anything right now.
Yes, you can.
I already did my part.
Wait,
All
you
right.
have all of that online?
Yes.
Raw and uncut. Right.
Raw, uncut, like I put in every single one. So here's the thing. The referral program is as soon as they sign up, you're entitled to it and you'll get rewarded. That's the way it is. Unfortunately, we cannot pay for future promises. It has to be happening, okay? But you'll get it. There's nobody, you know where we are. That's it. All right. So we give you the rewards card for a reason. Now it's on you to buy the pizza and everything else for us tonight.
I
mean, if you allow us.
No, sorry.
No, then find something else. It's okay.
I don't eat pizza, so no, I'm not buying that for you guys.
We take tacos, donuts,
Tacos.
I'll buy something vegan for you guys.
Oh, I love vegan.
I'll take that.
You're vegan?
Yeah.
You're awesome.
I really don't care what you bring. I'll eat anything.
You don't
Just saying.
ever eat, and we keep offering you.
You offer while I'm speaking.
So?
I don't eat while I'm speaking. All right.
Like Hennessy and Maybelline.
No, any chocolate is fine. Ladies, are you ready?
Let's go to the
I've been ready since 6:54.
7:15, 6:54. I've been ready for the past 37 and a half years.
Stop talking.
I'm talking still. What's the
But
problem?
you're like talking about other things.
I am. I didn't start yet.
But you're not ready. That's all I'm trying to say.
I'll be honest, I'm not ready. But let's go. Today's one of those days. So let's see what happens.
I could tell.
That's what you know about the
Okay, I have a question.
Wait,
You ready?
we didn't start.
I'm ready.
What's your question?
Remember,
No.
okay, well, I'll try to drive you in. There was a question that we had about it being better No, never mind. I was right. Never mind. We went into the question.
I love people that ask questions and answer themselves. It's awesome. Just maybe to,
Appease them.
yeah, what was the question?
Okay, the question.
The general
was-
public wants to know.
I got confused because there was like a question saying, is it better to purchase a shopping mall or to purchase a town, like a neighboring town? And at first.
It was the dentist where they're moving, and it was better to be in the shopping mall or across town in a location that had more room,
No,
something like
it
that.
was about being like your first purchase. It's like, what would be?
As your first purchase,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. And then it was saying like, should it be a shopping center or should it be, land next to you? And the correct answer was land next to you, but for some reason I was gonna ask you like, well, why would they choose a shopping center over the land next to you? But then I was right and I didn't have to ask anymore.
So how do you know you're right?
Because you told me the right answer and I was right at that time. I thought I had.
So that's 7, the one coming up?
No, this is.
Because that's what you asked yesterday. It was about 7.
Yeah, no, not about 7.
All right.
I left 7.
Okay. So if you remember the question, if you find it, let me know and we'll address it. But not now. Moving forward, we have chapter 16 through 22. Those are the reviews for today. And we're going to go through the first question. It says, which of these appraisal methods uses a rate of investment return? A, sales comparison approach. B, cost approach. C, income approach. Or D, gross income multiplier method. Who says A? B? C? Or D? Or don't raise hands? Or raise to everything?
I did 8.
So, correct answer is C. The question is, which appraisal method uses a rate of investment? So there's 3 appraisal methods,
Yeah.
right? We have the sales comparison approach, which is checking the market and how much are the properties similar to this one sold for. There's the cost approach, where we look at the construction itself and how much will it cost to reconstruct or rebuild something. And there's the income approach, where we talk about how much money comes in, how much money comes out. The net value of those is what determines the value of the property. So income approach gives you a cap rate or investment return. Okay?
Okay, well, what's the first one? Comparison approach?
Sales comparison is comparable market analysis. We're looking at other properties to determine other properties that just sold to determine the value of the one you're about to sell.
You didn't say D.
So, I had asked you this before, but just so I know I'm clear. You said it's good that we focus on reviewing these chapter reviews, like for the test, instead of going through each chapter and every definition. I mean, it's good that we know the definition.
So, what I was saying when I said that, real quick, so you guys know, is that because we're doing a short class, meaning like we're here every day, I don't think going through the chapters will be the best way to learn, because you already have the information and it's like recent. So doing the review questions at the end of each chapter, these reviews gives you an idea of where you're failing, and you can go back real quick to review versus, hey, let me read the whole chapter.
And there's also like a huge test in the back.
Yes, so chapter 24 is 2 practice exams.
Yeah.
Yes. Teja, sorry, you had a question?
I can look it up for that.
Say again?
I can look it up for the back.
Okay, so that row is having an issue.
Clarity.
2, children, let's start the right way. 2, the amount of money a property is most likely to bring is widely advertised for sale. If widely advertised for sale, is it's A, intrinsic value, B, market value, C, subjective value, or D, book value? Who says A? B, C, or D? Okay, correct answer is B as in boy. Market value is what the market, which is the buyers, are willing to pay. So that's the true value of a property. Because a seller can list the property for whatever they want. What's something? Okay. Thank you. Pushed. Okay. Next, 3. Henry constructs an 8-bedroom brick house with a tennis court in a neighborhood of modest 2-bedroom frame houses. The value of Henry's house is likely to be affected by the principle of A, progression, B, regression, C, highest and best use, or D, substitution. Who says A? B, C, or D? Or nothing?
I'm between B and D.
You're between B and D. So, it says right here, in the neighborhood of modest 2-bedroom frame houses. So the other properties around Henry's property are poorer. If the other properties are poorer, and I keep on improving mine, what happens to the value of mine? Goes down. So I can put $1 million into the property will never be worth $1 million because the modest homes around bring the value down. So that is regression. Progression would have been yours is a modest home and everybody else built mansions. Then it's progression. It increases the value even if you're not doing anything.
Basically, it have to be more the progress than only one. If like 5 people improve their house,
Correct.
but one person improving their house will not make it.
It's the opposite. So that's why you don't invest $1 million in a neighborhood where properties are worth 250, because there's no way to compare them. It doesn't reach its full potential, its full value. It's like people, okay? I always talk about this because that's the way I was taught as well, is that you should look at your circle of friends. And if you're around average salary people, no offense to anybody, but it's to your friends, it's just so you understand the concept here. If you're around average salary people, right, you're the average of the 5 people you hang out with the most. So that means your income is going to be average. If you're around high income people, your income is eventually going to be dragged up because they bring you value. In terms of economy, in terms of financially, not talking about friendship, okay? You could be, I'm going to make sure you guys understand so nobody gets offended.
I clearly understand, but you know what? If your friend hanging a jazz and they go here, expensive restaurants, it's gonna be the whole around. It's gonna be vice versa. Your income's gonna go down, trying to hang out with them in places you cannot go in.
Wait, that's if you're trying to do what they do. If you're trying to learn how they got there, it's a different story. You understand? My mentors make millions of dollars.
Yeah.
My mentors. And those are the people I spend most of the time with.
The only reason
Okay.
we spend time, and that's how I see it as, it's not because, oh, you're worth more, my other friends aren't at average. It's not like that. It's just because when you're next to those people, something you learn, something you get out.
Yep.
And at a certain day, you could start being not like them, but you're gonna be in a path where you're just
Correct.
also as good as them.
And that's what I was trying to say.
You're gonna be around more opportunities. I understand something what you're saying, but it could go wrong way if you take it.
It could if you're trying to be flashy, yeah. So I'm a very simple person. If you look at everything that I have, it has barely any value compared to what my mentors have. So, and I really don't care.
Most of the people who have money, they don't have nothing value really.
Yeah.
Except their
So-
house, not even their car.
The point is with the house. So Michelle, you're a little confused about how it happened. It's just that if your property is worth 250, hers is worth 250, more or less, we're at $250,000. Why am I putting $1 million into this property?
Because the reason why I have that look on my face.
Mhm.
There's an area, I think it's in Westfield, in Oak Park. Those houses, I know for some reason, I don't know. But there's one house, it's like, it's a mansion.
Mhm.
That house has 6 cars,
Okay.
parking space. It's huge. But when you look around that house, I'm looking at it and say, why they spend that much? I was like, why they spend that much money?
But that's exactly where I'm trying to get to. Do you think that property has its true value? children, there's a question being asked. Do you think that property has a true value? No.
It kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I'll tell you this, I'll give you a comparison. There's this property in Elizabeth that was, when I looked at it, it was amazing, the property, right? As soon as I asked where it was and I saw where it was, this is 3 years ago, in Westminster Ave in Elizabeth, right? Property is clearly a $1.2, $1.3 million property. But as soon as I was told in which neighborhood it was, so Elizabeth, Westminster Avenue, right? It's still a nice neighborhood, but it's Elizabeth. And at the time, 3 years ago, the market was not where it is today. So that property, when I told them, listen, the most you get out of this is going to be like 650, 700,000. Now, why did I say that? Because it's in the wrong neighborhood. Prices went up, but it still did not reach 1.2 million right now. So when I said that to the agent that listed, so they had to do some creative financing. It was actually rented with option to buy. But the person that listed, I told them this, and they're like, no, you're crazy. I'm like, no, I'm not. And you're going to realize it. It's not going to sell. But, bro, they bought it for 450. They put roughly another 400,000 into the property. And I'm like, and? I know somebody in New York that put a jade toilet and the whole jade-inspired bathroom and gold trimming and stuff like that. Doesn't mean that the property is going to be worth more. You know, if everybody else has the same thing, then you have comparables, right? But you have the best in the worst neighborhood, you're losing value. You have the worst in the best neighborhood, you're gaining value. That's progression and regression. Okay, so I'm not saying that yours, like the mansion, the one you're talking about, is not worth more than the ones around. What I'm saying is not its full potential. If the rest of the properties were similar, then that property would be worth 1 point something. Because they're not similar, it's worth 700 or 800. As an example.
This is house like this, that made the neighborhood so expensive. Look at that mansion house they have in Gain, and you get all the little small houses surrounded.
But no.
No.
You got it?
It's the opposite.
Cool. Number 4. You guys are horrible. 4. For appraisal purposes, depreciation is related to A, capitalization, B, substitution, C, obsolescence, or D, comparison. Who says A? Who says B? C or D? Or nothing? You don't know that one. Okay. So, appraisal purposes. This is not tax purposes, it's appraisal purposes. Remember, depreciation is related to, definitely not the capitalization because it's not an income issue. Substitution means you find similar properties to substitute with. Obsolescence means damages, curable or incurable to the property. So physical damages, physical damages is one. The other one is functional damages, meaning can this room be rearranged and be better for today's market or type of clients? And then there's the external obsolescence. So it loses value based on what's around, the functions that it's required or not from the property, right? And again, can it be fixed or not? So depreciation of the value of the property itself, not depreciation for taxes. Because for taxes is replacements. Depreciation is the replacement, the need for replacement, the maintenance. In this situation is obsolescence. And obsolescence means it's no longer useful and it needs to either be fixed.
That would be a mean one.
I was going to say, my 5-year-old daughter that weighs nothing does all that noise, walking.
My daughter, she's only 1 and you hear, I'm like, kids.
Yeah, it's crazy. So obsolescence. Comparison has nothing to do with depreciation. It's like comparison would be compared to other properties. All right?
So it's absolute.
Yep. So 5, a stadium will be best appraised using the A, cost approach, B, income approach, C, sales comparison approach, or D, reconciliation approach. Who says A? Who says B? C or D? What happened?
Me?
You had a question? Yeah, I'm looking at you,
Me?
Mrs. Jones. I'm sorry.
No, I had selected two of them.
Oh, okay. So apparently, what was your for two selections? Just so I
The
know.
first one I chose was income, but then I said maybe it's sales.
Okay. So with that being said, Dr. Kevin, you're the only one that's correct in this one.
Is it cost approach?
Cost approach.
That was my second one.
So let me explain. Sales comparison approach is because there's common sales. If it's a two-family, there's plenty of two families. If it's a three-family, there's plenty of three families. The cost approach is because we don't have a way to compare them to, so we look at alternatives. Now, income approach is the income that brings the real estate brings.
Cost approach
Okay.
studies for construction.
So no, the cost approach is the cost to rebuild determines its value. Okay? So it's construction. The cost to rebuild determines its value. But that's because we cannot find sales to compare to, or the income that it brings is not consistent. A stadium has no consistent income. If there's a show, there's a show. If there's a game, there's a game.
Right, okay.
But there's no consistency to it. So we're looking at the stadium as a structure, and what would it cost to rebuild that structure? We talked about reproduction cost and replacement cost, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so correct answer would be A. Think about this. Anything that's unique, in this case a stadium, but it could be a church, it could be a school, that's the example in the book, cost approach, always. There's no sales comparison and generally no income. 6. The comparative market analysis that broker body furnishes to a home seller is somewhat similar to A, cost approach appraisal, B, income approach appraisal, C, sales comparison appraisal, or D, certified appraisal. Who says A? B, C, or D? Okay. So it says comparative market analysis. Boom. Which one says comparison in the answers? Comparative market analysis, CMA. So we're looking at sales. Correct answer is C.
The other ones that I got right, it was myself.
Gotcha. 7. The IRV, I'm sorry. The IRV formula
Wait, what's the
is
IRV? Income
rate value. The IRV formula is particularly useful in calculating A, depreciation, B, market value, C, external obsolescence, or D, capitalization rate. Who says A, B, C, D? How about nothing? All right.
You should be
Income.
about, I don't know.
Right? Or I don't know.
Nothing.
Or none of the above. Income, rate, value. Already tells you.
Value, market value.
No. That was a good one. Depreciation, definitely not. We talked about it. Market value is used out of sales comparison. So that would be the cost, the sales comparison approach. External obsolescence, that was the cost approach. Capitalization or rate of return or return on investments rate is the income divided by rate gives us the value. Income divided by value gives us capitalization rate.
I think at first I thought I was wrong because I saw market value and when I made your pie in your steering wheel, I saw the value there, so then I thought that.
Yeah, so the value is there because in all three is going to be value. Understand, sales comparison, there's going to be a value, which is market value. Cost approach, there's going to be a value, which is the construction value, right? And then there's the capitalization rate, which is from the income, determines the value. So how much income brings times the divided by the cap rate gives us a value, okay? So capitalization, if you want to write rate of return or return on investment.
Rate on return.
Rate of. return. So how much we get back from our investment. That's capitalization rate, and that's for income. So IRV is for income. Capitalization rate is for income.
And then external options is
Cost approach, yeah.
cost.
External options and depreciation are under cost approach. 8, the location of property and the public's preference for certain locations is known as A, external options, B, substitution principle, C, highest and best use, or D, situs or situs, whatever way you want to say it, it doesn't matter to me. So who says A, B, C, D, or I don't know? All right. Now, on this one, I'm upset at you because you answered correctly the day of. Situs, what is situs? Site, so location, situation, where it's situated. So, if you're looking at location, it's where the property is situated, and therefore, situs, or situs, or whatever way you want to say it, but it's called location. In front of this, put equals location. Okay? Right. And that's the problem. Sometimes we start overthinking things, and that's what you did. And it's not the first time you guys do this. I know that you guys have the right answer sometimes, and they're like, nah, can't be. So let me tell you something. For the school exam, you're gonna test this. Go with your gut. If you're wrong, at least at the end, you know you're wrong because you went with your gut. But if you change the answer because you're like, it's too easy, and you fail, then you're going to be wondering, was I right? Does that make sense? So this first exam, don't stress it. Take it, go with your gut. If you fail, you fail. If you pass, wonderful. That's it. Got it? Awesome. Take the pressure off. That's what I'm trying to do here. 9. A lot to read, right? What do we do when it's a lot to read? Skip it. Very good. Well, and then that's it. So 9, when one investor manages a real estate partnership and takes on full liability for any losses, while the other investors are silent partners who cannot lose more than their investments, the enterprise is organized as A, a general partnership, B, a real estate investment trust, C, limited partnership, or D, pyramid. Who says A? B, C, or D? Or I don't know. Okay. A or C because it's a partnership, right? Now, it talks about the other investors being silent. So do they have a voice or say in the daily activities? No. General partnership, everybody has participation in the business. A limited partnership is at least one general partner and the rest are silent partners. Limited. The correct answer is C.
So general, everybody have a voice.
So
Everybody participates and has a voice in the daily
And
activities, yes.
everybody are liable.
I want to
Yep.
associate it with limited liability.
Yeah, it's limited liability, yeah. So in front of limited partnership, you can write limited liability and you can write silent partners. Okay? General partner, we have full liability. What does that mean? It means that if we make money, we're all good. If we lose money, one of us is going to suffer and then has to go after everybody else. So we share liability. In the limited partnership, one of us suffers but knows that he or she cannot go after the others. Okay? 10. Personal property is transferred using the regulations of the A, Real Estate Commission, B, Statute of Frauds, C, Securities and Exchange Commission, or D, Uniform Commercial Code. Who says A? B, C, or D? At the end, you say A? Okay. Correct answer is D. Because personal property, remember Article 6, Bulk Transfer Act? I want you to write that. Article 6, Bulk Transfer Act. Anything that's transferred through a bill of sale falls under Bulk Transfer Act, Article 6 of the UCC. Real estate, remember I told you how light it was the last thing. The real estate is not included in this because real estate is real property. This only applies to personal property. 11, yes.
So what is real property?
The structure.
Okay.
11. A real estate license is required for business brokerage, A, in no case, B, when any real estate is involved, C, only when more than half of the value of the business is in real estate, or D, even when no real estate is involved. Who says A? B, C, or D? Okay. Correct answer is B. Here's the thing. A business being sold is a business being sold. What does that mean? If we're not talking about real estate, then we don't need a license. Now, if we say the business is being sold and the lease is being transferred, or the building is being sold with the business, now we step in, we get involved. So for a real estate licensee to be involved, there must be a real estate portion to be either transferred or sold. You got it? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. 12. When property is exchanged, any cash given to even out the exchange is known as A, marginal tax, B, appreciation, C, boot, or D, bulk transfer. Who says A? Huh?
I did a process, so I can't say anything.
I didn't hear what you said.
I didn't process the question, so I can't.
You didn't process? When there's a property being exchanged, I'm transferring exchanging one property by another, right? Or with another. Any cash given to even out the exchange, whatever the difference is, to even it out, even out the exchange is known as A, marginal, appreciation, boot, or bulk transfer. Who says A? B, C, or D? All right. Correct answer is boot. Let me explain something. When there's an exchange, listen to me, when there's an exchange, isn't that even? Okay. What it says here, there needs to be an adjustment to even out the exchange. That means one property was 450, the other property was 500. Is that an even exchange? So one of the parties has to come up with $50,000 to meet the value of the other property. That means somebody in this process is going to receive or collect $50,000. $50,000, right? Those $50,000 are not exempt from the transaction. They are booted from the transaction. Therefore, capital gains are taxed right away. Okay? Boot. They're out of the exemption. This is a 1031 exchange. Remember that? Yes.
So if, let's say that if they don't want to change it and just buy the property and somebody want to just, sell.
All right, let me before you move forward, let me explain why the exchange. Maybe that's going to be easier. When I sell a property and I don't want to deal with capital gains, my only option is rollover. Whatever money comes from this property I just sold, I roll into another property.
Because now you have to pay taxes.
If I don't do it, I pay taxes, capital gains.
And
If I roll into it,
and how long you have to, I know you talked about it.
you have 45 days to do so, and to identify a property, and 180 days to complete the transaction.
140?
No, 45 days to identify, 180 days to complete. That is a 1031 exchange. Internal Revenue Code Section 1031 allows you to exchange. Okay? 13. When Betty exchanges her shopping plaza for Harold's apartment house, which is of equal value, tax on the accumulated gain on Betty's plaza is A, eliminated, B, deferred, C, calculated at alternative minimum tax rates, or D, figured at favorable capital gain rates. Who says A, B, C, or D? Okay, or nothing. Some of you just refuse to raise hands, right? You're on the refusal mode.
No, I just don't know, so.
Okay, so none of the above? Or I don't know?
I don't
A
know.
protest, he said. I'm not answering. Okay. So it says right here,
So what is the answer?
I'm going to give you the answer. So it says right here, Betty exchanged a shopping plaza for Harold's apartment house. It's of equal value, right? It doesn't state anywhere here that Harold lives there, right? So it is assumed we're talking about exchanges of investment or income properties. Yes? Because that's the only time we can actually do an exchange. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to do the exchange. You have to pay capital gains, right? So that would be D, if they live there. Okay? But because it's an investment or income property, and that's the exchange of equal value, it falls under the category of Section 1031. With that being said, taxes on the sale of these properties are deferred. They're never eliminated because it's not exempt.
So the
They
first
just-
means roll over to.
It rolls over. So that means when Betty sells the apartment house, or when Harry sells the shopping plaza, right? They're gonna have to pay capital gains on the previous sale
Previous sales and the sale.
and whatever sale they had from that appreciation. Yeah,
So how's that inconvenient? You're gonna end up.
it's the now. See, you guys have to understand the game of leverage. Right now, I need the most amount of money, so I cannot pay the IRS today. I might be able to pay the IRS tomorrow, but today I want as much money as possible. Does that make sense? So the deferment is you keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. Eventually, you have to deal with it. Or if you find another type of exemption, you might never have to deal with it. That's the intention of a deferment. Does that make sense? Buy you time. If you have a loan, if you have a mortgage, guess what you did? You deferred the purchase. I mean, you got it, but you're paying in installments. If you have a credit card, you use the credit card to buy something, you deferred the purchase. Instead of paying full price now, you're paying over time. It's almost the same thing. Just in this scenario, you don't pay anything until you sell.
And if you never sell.
Eventually going to sell because unfortunately we die. So somebody's going to have to pay for those taxes.
Not my monkey.
Well, yeah, after you're not here, it's not your monkey. Anyway, 14. The IRS allows up to $25,000 in losses from rental property to offset other types of income only if the investor actively participates in the management of the property, the investor's other income is more than $100,000, other income is in the form of wages, or the investor is a limited partner. Who says A, B, C, or D? All right, or I don't know. Okay. So the correct answer is A. When we talked about deduction of losses, not credit, because remember, it doesn't say it's rehab of low-income properties, okay? It just says offset other types of income. If the investor actively participates, then it's an active loss offsetting another active income. Passive losses cannot offset active income. Credits can, losses no. Okay, so when it's a loss from rental property to offset other types of income, no. Got it? Number 15. The original cost of investment property plus cost of improvements minus depreciation yields a figure known as A, adjusted basis, B, salvage value, C, capital gain, or D, marginal rate? Who says A? B, C, D, or I don't know? I don't know, okay. Correct answer is A, adjusted basis. See, basis is the base of my investment. How much money did I put in? Okay? If I added improvements, if I put more money in, that's added to the basis. That's the cost of acquiring and maintaining the property. Okay? Basis. Adjusted basis is if you every year took advantage of a tax benefit called depreciation, then you put in $50,000, but you claim $10,000 of depreciation over the years. So how much did you really put in? 40. Okay, because you put 50 out of your money, but you claimed $10,000 in benefits. What's the difference between those? $40,000, and that's called adjusted basis. So adjusted cost, let's put it like that. Yes? Okay. That's in chapter 17, if you guys want to put a reference there. Under capital gains. All right. The term cash flow refers to A, same thing as operating expenses, B, spendable income after expenses, C, borrowed money used to finance investment, or D, accrued depreciation. Who says A? B, C, D, or I don't know? A. Correct answer is B. Cash flow. Cash flow is how much money is coming to your pocket. If no money is coming to your pocket, then you're even cash flow. If you're putting money out of your pocket every month, then you have a negative cash flow. But what's the intention of an investment property? Positive cash flow, right? So you want money to come to your pocket after all the expenses. Well, we were over right now regarding the fourth family. You want that money to be the max possible, okay? Because that's why we invest, to get a return, a positive return. So think of cash flow, think of spendable income, underline spendable income. Can you spend the income before paying the bills?
Yeah.
Well, put in your mind, you can't. Put in your mind, you can't. Because the moment you say you shouldn't, well, I shouldn't. Yeah. Okay. I want my 369th pair of shoe, yeah. 17. Master plans. Who has that little? Master plans are usually adopted by A, federal government, B, state of New Jersey, C, board of realtors, or D, local communities. Who says A?
It's tricky, but I want to go with A.
Okay, B, C. I love Michelle. She goes like, wait, me? All right, B, C, or D? Or I don't know. So, the federal government does not get involved with local municipalities.
That's what I was like.
The master plan is your township's plan. So D is the correct answer. Local communities. Yes, dam. D for dam. Yes. Local communities. 18.
Okay.
The word plat.
Okay, move on. 19.
The word plat means basically the same thing as A, subdivision, B, map, C, disclosure, or D, planned unit development. Who says A? B, C, or D? Okay. B is the correct answer because I told you several times a plat is a map. Door. Dora's map, huh? That should be the whole test, because everybody answered?
That question should be there for sure, so that's a guarantee.
Maybe, you never
That's
know.
a passing question.
Yeah.
19.
We need one question to pass. Oh, what's flat? Nah.
Flat. It sounded like Affleck for a second,
Sorry.
right? All right. Next, installation of septic systems usually require A, an environmental impact study, B, a zoning permit, C, utility easement, or D, percolation tests. Who says A? B, C, or D? Okay. D, B. So, installation of septic systems means we're putting something underground, correct? Or do we install the septic systems on top? No, septic is underground. So we need to know if the water will flow. How do we know if water flows? Percolation test. Every time I hear that, that's what I think. All right. 20. Ocean. Huh? Don't roll your eyes.
I did it. I'm
You-
tired.
Me too.
Oh.
20. Oceanfront construction is regulated by A, Environmental Protection Agency, B, Department of Environmental Protection, C, Local Zoning Board, or D, Department of Housing and Urban Development. Who says A? Who says B? What was that? Who says C?
A and B.
What about D? All right, correct answer is B, Department of Environmental Protection, DEP. That's where you apply for those permits. See, the EPA is a federal agency, but the Department of Environmental Protection is regulated locally. So, DEP is where you go for the permits to build stuff on the water.
When does class start?
August 19th.
No, that's right.
Come on, it's just one of those days, don't worry. You got it.
I don't get it, because that says environmental protection.
The EPA is federal
It
level.
was local zoning, because they're the ones who have to allow you to do it, right?
There's a special department that handles it, and that's a state department, DEP.
Okay, so that's the department that needs that.
Because the state department is the one that deals with ocean properties, lakes, and all that stuff.
Okay.
They're the ones. 21. All right, it's Friday. The buyer of a new home construction receives a warranty. All right, remember one thing, you're about to become realtors, right? Forget Saturdays, forget Sundays, and Friday's definitely out of the question. The buyer of a new home construction receives a warranty on any type of defect for at least A, 1 year, B, 2 years, C, 5 years, or D, 10 years. Who says A, B, C, or D? Various periods up to 10 years, but the minimum is at least 1. So when there's a new construction, there's a warranty, the builder's warranty, right? For instance, windows could have a 1-year warranty. The sheetrock could have a 1-year warranty. Structure should have a 10-year warranty, but it's for various periods from 1 to 10. Just like every warranty, there's limitations. Okay? So at least 1 year. Very good. 22. No new building may be used for human habitation until it has received A, a plat of subdivision, B, percolation test, C, environmental impact study, or D, certificate of occupancy. Who says A, B, C, D? All right. Wait. Do that again, D. First time, the whole class raises the hand at the same time. Awesome. Correct answer is D.
That's not true. When we have it on map, You got it.
Well,
Right.
no. For map, you start telling me the answer before raising the hand.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying everybody raise the
We
answer.
work with children.
Right now, yes. 23. A typical developed lot sells for roughly how many times the cost of raw land? A, 2, B, 5, C, 7, or D, 10? Who says A? B, C, or D?
Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't know.
I don't know. All right. Correct answer is B. B as in boy.
So B.
When we buy land, there's a cost to develop the land, right? So raw land, then we improve the land. Yes? A developed plan has to be at least 5 times to make sense the investment itself. At least 5 times. Don't ask me why, because I don't do the construction. But that's what's estimated, that's what we study, and you wouldn't get into a type of development without knowing the potential return. So at least 5 times, that's at least where it says in your book. That's the best answer I can tell you, because I don't do this. I tried to do in a couple of projects. It didn't work to what I expected, so I backed out. Never doing developments. Well, for now, I won't do developments. I like what I know. It works.
And what chapter is this?
This is 18. Yep. 24. Simple transfers within the family are often made through a use of A, warranty deed, B, trust deed, C, full covenant deed, or D, quitclaim deed. Who says A? B, C, or D? All right. D, quitclaim deed. It's for simple transfers within family or divorces. That's what the most common usage is. The divorce? You quitting?
No.
Oh, that was not.
When the husband is a quick claim deed and he still got the short end without it, yeah, that's what you get, yeah.
25.
He's laughing.
D for divorce?
Huh?
D for divorce.
When I get married.
D for divorce. There you
That's
go.
the D part with everything.
25.
Somebody died.
Somebody dying. I ain't marrying you. Jeez. Imagine you go to marriage like the vows. Yeah, I love you, but somebody got to die eventually. Just saying. Love you to death.
And if that someone could be you first, even better.
Yeah. She's gonna be turning to everybody like somebody got to die first.
Right. Like even that, see, they don't find
25. Monuments are used in legal description known as A, meets and bounds, B, plat of subdivision, C, rectangular survey system, or D, datum. Who says A? B, C, D? I don't know.
I answered, you didn't just answer.
Okay, correct answer is A, meets and bounds.
And you will be surprised why I remember that.
Why?
Because that's what I think about the joke. Well, to me it was a joke. It's like, it sounds like you eat meat and you're like, gosh.
Oh yeah, that's what she said, yeah. 26.
Sometimes I just like the point because I have my nails done.
Oh, that's why you're doing it? All right, just points. 26. The rectangular survey system is used in, Dr. Kev, can you do it? Double point, no? The rectangular survey system is used in A, New Jersey only, B, all 13 original states, C, areas where usual surveying is difficult, or D, Midwest and Western states. Who says A?
D.
B, C. Who says D?
B.
You're saying B or D?
B.
You're saying,
Tell me I'm right.
who says D? Raise your hand if you say D. That's what you said, right?
I don't know, I just wanna, I don't know.
I don't know is the correct answer. D. The rectangular survey system or government survey method is not used in any of the original 13 states.
Oh,
yeah, that's why I
think
say
the 13 states, so I went with that one, because I knew that.
Yep. is not used.
So the answer is D?
Yep.
I thought it was C.
Areas where usual surveying is difficult.
Maybe. I thought so, because it wasn't being used other places.
Okay.
Okay.
No. That was a good
I
attempt.
don't remember Midwest and Western at all.
You said you shouldn't mention 13 states like 1,000 times.
I didn't. I mentioned it once.
No, you did
I
mention
think
it
you said, I
1,000
thought you
times.
said it wasn't.
It wasn't used.
In the 13.
That's why that's the question there is, where was it used? Well,
Yeah, it's
everywhere,
very
but
tricky, that's
it's
why.
tricky. Get ready, because the school exam is tricky, state exam is tricky.
That's the only reason I got.
See, so like they don't want you to pass.
New Jersey is part of them, and then,
Yeah.
then I knew.
Those two can be.
They should make it easy.
27. The government has established benchmarks to A, land developers, B, title companies, C, surveyors, or D, grantees. Who says A? B, C, D. Okay, so the government established benchmarks. What are benchmarks? Points of reference. Because sometimes a datum could be miles away, like the New York Harbor. So we need benchmarks to aid surveyors in determining the area or heights or all the measurements they have based on local benchmarks, not something that's miles away. So land developers do not use benchmarks. Title companies definitely not. Grantees, that's the buyer. Process of elimination, surveyors. Title company doesn't. They just pull title. 28. The covenants in a deed are essentially A, legal descriptions, B, habendums, C, limitations, or D, guarantees. Who says A? B, C, D. I don't know. Okay. What is a covenant? It's a promise or guarantee.
Oh.
Yeah. Covenant is a promise or guarantee. It's the children, yes. So sometimes it's the wording itself, I know. So covenant is I promise or I guarantee to do this or not do it. So covenant is a promise or a guarantee. You see why I'm not worried yet about the results?
Yeah, we need to do this.
You're worried? You say you worried?
I'm not worried about the results yet. It's just, that's why I'm doing this. Consider what? Okay. 29.
I forgot what I was talking about.
When people speak of having a signature notarized, they mean it is A, acknowledged, B, executed, if you don't know, right? C, granted, or D, warranted. Who says A, B,
Acknowledge.
C, or D? A, acknowledged, yes. Notarized means acknowledged. And what does acknowledge or notarize mean? Great.
You are who you are.
You are who you say you are. That's all it is. I swear and subscribe, because that's what it is. I'm swearing and I'm subscribing that this is me signing. That's it. Pretty much it. I'm one of the parties to this, and I'm signing. 30. A deed must be acknowledged before it can be A, effective in transferring property, B, recorded, C, executed, or D, delivered. Who says A? B, C. I say hey? No, no. It says D. All right. So let me ask you something. What does the word acknowledgement mean? Notarized, right? Does it need to be notarized in order to be effective? Nope. I can give you a deed.
See, that's why I said it was A or C.
Okay, neither. Recorded. In the state of New Jersey, if you want to record anything, it must be notarized first by the party that's giving it to you.
So what can you do?
Executed just means signed. Yep. Or completed, depending on where we go. 31. A legal description can be determined by a title attorney, or A, the owner, B, United States Geological Survey, C, an attorney in fact, or D, a surveyor. Who says A? B, C, D. Correct answer is D. We're talking about legal description. Who do you think is gonna, listen to me, who do you think is gonna determine what's the legal description of the land? Surveyor.
Who is a surveyor?
The person that does the survey of the land, that walks the boundaries of the property and determines what the property is. Okay?
Yeah. Sorry, sometimes I lose my, I can't read. I haven't died yet.
I was about to jump over there, like, what's going on?
Something I have that sometimes I can't read.
You saw my face, right? I'm like,
Right. No, it's like, I have a little machine, I have to practice
Asthma?
breathing, 'cause, no, it's not asthma, it's like,
Palpitation. Girl, please.
32. Listen.
Want to practice CPR here.
Whatever happens, just go to the hallway. I'm just saying. No liability here.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, Bruno, you are cold-hearted.
I hope I don't.
I will
Oh,
save
it's
you.
warm.
Just can you say in the camera I can save you in case you're about to die? So you don't sue me later?
She's not here today. 32. Voluntary alienation includes transfer of real property by A, sale or gift, B, foreclosure or adverse possession, C, descent, or D, eminent domain. Who says A, B, C, or D? Or I don't know, Ro, apparently. The correct answer is A.
Oh my God, I had it, look, I had it, I just didn't want to say, I don't want to stupid.
Because you're giving it, right?
So, voluntary is something you want to do. Therefore, it's a sale
That's okay, you ask.
or a gift.
A, B, A.
Hey, gotta love it. 33. The landowner who dies without leaving a will is said to have been A, a devisee, B, alienated, C, a testator, or D, intestate. Who says A, B, C, or D?
D.
Intestate is the correct answer. Intestate means no will. If there was a will, they died
We
testate.
know that, because when our husband died, we know that. Something we will not forget.
Did you guys prepare the will already?
Who?
Did you ask him to prepare the will?
We're working on it.
I'm based on what she's saying. 34. 34. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Oh, separation anxiety, look at her face.
Right?
We'll see each other tomorrow.
Where you going?
Don't leave me.
Oh.
Wait, I have to say bye. It's hard.
You have to say bye. Okay, for the past 30 years, question, John has mowed a 10-foot strip at the edge of his lawn that really belongs to his neighbor. The neighbor never commented, protested, or gave John permission to take care of that strip. At this point, John can A, has no claim on the land, B, could go to court to claim the land, C, has already been the owner for the past 10 years, or D, can ask the local zoning board for title to the land. Who says A, B, C, or D? Or nothing, right? That's not Family Feud. Because then I'll have to go the rest of the row.
It's the button. It's
No, it depends. That's when they're up here.
Yeah.
Because before that, one wins and then I have to go the whole row, the family. So yeah, it doesn't work for this.
So Jeopardy.
All right, next.
What's the answer?
24. Children.
I gave the answer already.
I am child.
Huh? You didn't hear me. Correct answer is B. Everybody answered right. So I don't get the title automatically. I still have to claim it. For me to claim, I have to go to court and get it. Okay? 35. When the person dies without a will, that means without natural heirs or more distant relatives, his or her estate becomes the property of the state. A, immediately at the moment of death. B, as soon as a public sale is over. C, a year after a public sale. Or D, never. It is held indefinitely in escrow. Who says A? B, C, or D? Correct answer is C. So first, they sell the property, then they hold the money. Okay, this is chapter 20, the very last thing in chapter 20. They hold the property, the money, for at least a year. If nobody claims it by then it's cheated back to the state. Yep. 36. A partition proceeding is an example of A, involuntary alienation, B, public grant, C, tacking, or D, adverse possession. Who says A? B, C, or D? All right. Partition proceeding. This, we're talking about tenants in common. For instance, in a tenancy in common, there's 2 of us, or 3 of us, or 10 of us. But one of us says, hey, we got to sell. And the other ones say, no, we don't. So I can now force you to partition. Every time there's a partition, either physical or judicial partition, is a separation. Think of separation as you're being forced to something. Therefore, a partition is involuntary. Okay? Partition is me suing you for that separation. It's involuntary.
Partition is separation because.
That's what I said.
In the Beyonce song.
In the Beyonce song, yes.
Driver roll up the partition, please. You understand, ladies?
Okay.
So,
I did a partition was a partition because you put it apart.
because you put it apart. But no, bring Beyonce, partition, don't look back, got it.
It's called partition.
That's what it is. In the song, that's what it is.
Mind his business, so
Not even forget
the limo thing to go up.
I remember the volume, no, Beyonce.
You never heard that?
I heard, but I never know what it means.
Yeah, that's what it means.
Now you know.
Great.
Next.
Roll up the window and let me move forward. 37. Certain property owners are required to carry flood insurance by, this is easy, A, FDIC, B, VA, C, RESPA, or D, HUD. Who says A? B, C, or D?
C.
Correct answer is D.
Housing.
All right, wait.
Housing of the-
So A, FDIC, they regulate the lenders. It has nothing to do with you. B, VA is a veteran's guarantee to the lender. Has nothing to do with you. C, RESPA is Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act, is about the closing. It has nothing to do with you or the property. It's the closing itself. So it's costs. That's all it is. D is housing and urban development. So because it's development, think about it that way, development, it has to do with the land itself. So if there's a flood zone, they want to make sure that everything is insured or
So,
protected.
Housing.
And urban development, HUD.
Urban. Wow.
Make sense?
I was
que was too confused with the because
RESPA and.
yeah, that's better. Okay, thank you. It was very good.
Yeah, all right. 38. Within 3 days of loan application, the borrower must receive A, uniform settlement statement, B, abstract, C, title insurance policy, or D, a good faith estimate of settlement costs. Who says A? B, C, or D?
I was confused between A and B.
Confused between A and D. So the uniform settlement statement is the closing statement. Okay? So that's incorrect as far as A. Abstract is a history of something. Has nothing to do with this. Title insurance policy, that's at the end. It has nothing to do with this. Within 3 days, we have to give you an estimate of what the costs are going to be. Okay, so that's a good faith estimate by the lender to say, hey, this is what it is. Do you want it? Got it? Did you understand? Okay. 39. An affidavit of title is signed at closing by the A, lending institution, B, buyer's attorney, C, seller, or D, mortgagor. Who says A? B, C, D, or I don't know. Okay. No.
Okay, wait.
Lending institution, definitely not, because we're talking about affidavit of title, we're talking about transfer of title. The lending institution has nothing to do with the transfer, they have to do with the financing, right? B is the buyer's attorney. Why would the buyer's attorney sign an affidavit? Okay? As far as D, let me skip to D. Who's the mortgagor? The buyer. So, process of elimination, the correct answer would be C.
Wait, the mortgage or is the buyer and the mortgage?
E is the bank, the lender.
Okay, I was confused. I was like, well, mortgage and seller is the same thing.
Nope.
Okay. So I mean C, sorry, I mean.
Seller.
So it was.
So,
C.
here's the thing. Why would the seller sign, so you understand the question and understand the answer, why would the seller sign an affidavit of title? First of all, what's an affidavit?
An affidavit. Spanish, right?
But what is it?
Some explanation.
It's like,
It's a sworn statement, an affirmation, right, under the penalty of perjury, that these are true statements. And I say, in this case, that until today, there's nothing that has not been paid for. The new owner and the lender and the title company will not have to worry about anything. And if they do, if something pops up later on, come after me, the seller.
That's what they call, clean title?
Well, clean title means there's no liens,
No names.
right? Or somebody took, in this case, responsibility for certain things.
Oh.
Okay? Cool. So I'm gonna give you guys a 5-minute break. Actually doing very well today.
We're going to do the page 3 to 22.
Well, it's going well, so let's see.
We can have to finish all these questions.
We're doing very well, so what do you mean all these questions? We're on question 40, it's 50 questions.
I know, but after we finish here, are you going to the next page for practice?
No, those are practice exams for you to prepare for next week. It's 2 sample exams.
Okay.
That's for you to do at home and practice. Homework.
So, okay, so you pretty much you're gonna finish soon.
Well, no, because we're getting into math after, so.
Oh, because the next 6 questions is math.
Yeah.
And that's where I stopped.
Yep. So,
Can I get a calculator? Please.
the calculator, or do you want to talk?
I'm gonna put.
If you didn't want me to understand, que te lo quedamos no permite. Porque me cuento que con el corazón, no que me cuento. Se quiero hecho yo, no estoy queriendo.
If they are ready, they're at the back. Oh, I thought you needed to go. Oh,
She's like, he looked at her a few times, you know what I mean, and saying anything about it, it was so embarrassing, usually I would, but I didn't.
But he must not, cause they know what a wig is.
I think he just didn't want to be mean, she said, he was looking at it, like, I would catch him looking that way, and it was like.
That is
She's like,
so
hilarious.
hilarious.
She's like on the chair, and I'm like, I wish I could just,
He was like, is that a dog?
yeah, she said, so now every time I ever that's why I'm like, oh, so I'm putting up for me, she put it away. That is, I mean, sometimes.
At least he didn't put it on.
Oh, no, that would have been just bad for her.
That would have been ridiculous.
I told her I wanted one, she told me, she's like, no, you're gonna look stupid. No, it comes natural, nice looking, maybe. Hopefully, it would be nice to be able to not have to damage your hair, to dye it. I love waves. Welcome to my club.
Well, just not that video, but like,
All colors, but yeah, like things.
no damage.
I've never done one before.
Well, they're too expensive. Well, depending which one you buy.
Well, I sell hair, so I get it for free.
Oh, that's good.
So
Do you make
you
them?
always put that below my name.
It's not today, it's the last day.
So you
But
want
Bruno
to-
always says no. I have a website.
Well, comfortably.
When you have my own website, you have to use like.
Your bed, your car.
Yes.
It's really good. Yeah, you have a 30-day guarantee whether you want to.
I was just about cards. And that's why we don't have cards on, because we have around.
But you're not doing this much work for two weeks online.
I don't know, because, you know, my body hurts.
Well, this one is customized.
And you never know.
Like my hair, I don't have
Based
to
on
glue it.
insurance, so
They
I
just
want to have a
look at
backup
it.
plan. And plan for the best.
So this
You
one
know, buy
was
something
made.
for yourself.
No,
I'm looking for a month down.
Some of
So,
your hair is
and I
out.
know all the ins and outs.
It's
of
like-
everything into the cleaning,
It's like, so it's made on the hand, it's extension.
you know.
So basically, you know how you do hairstyles in your hair, like you do like ponytail or like curls? Is that basically I just put my hair to the back and just put it up, put the,
X, Y, and
It's a
Z.
regular wig then.
yeah.
So.
If it's only like you have to glue it, you have to put the cap and glue
Yes,
it.
you know, so it's not.
Okay.
Like,
I wouldn't tell
you're
myself
like-
nothing that I have to do.
You don't have to work anymore.
I have a hiccup, but, I don't like blooming.
You mean
I mean, you
just
can
like.
do it all, but you don't have to, you know.
Right.
If you have,
Well,
like, write it down. I have business cards.
She's in Brazil?
No, she's here, she's a real estate agent.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I told you real estate.
Okay.
She took away my view one window. She's like, no, you wanna work down. I'm like,
I would say
my
go
friend.
to a wig shop first and just try.
You're
it
gonna
out.
look weird at the beginning, let me tell
Oh,
you.
yeah.
I tried to, I usually try to use it like,
Yeah, I have a lot. My daughter keeps on cutting them up because of this. She wants to garnish. But this website, is under construction because I sold out everything. I thought eyelashes. So, I had to hire someone to revamp it. So that inventory. And I wanted to do one, but yeah, I do hair and makeup. That's all I was there for. The first 3 days, well, not the first 3 days, but the first couple of 3 days. I was in Atlantic City doing hair and makeup for these girls' video.
Yeah.
That's my name.
That will only cost me
What? Well, my wigs don't cost that much and they last a very long time. It depends on what you want, yeah. But even still, on the website, they don't make it that much money because, the website is amazing and their philosophy is, we provide really good virgin hair. And if we give it at a good price, then more people will purchase. So we'll get more with the volume of the purchases rather than doing it a big price. Because that's what a lot of companies do. Yeah, but I've been selling with them for almost 5 years. My daughter's 4. I started doing it while I was pregnant. Because I couldn't work. So I was like, I'm not going to sell some hair. Just like
I'm trying to get my friends back, 'cause she always wears.
we have clip-ins too, if you want to try clip-ins. Look at the website.
Some people are down my hair, and I'm ready with a diet, and I'm just like.
No, Diamond Kitchens, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna show you. So these are essentially creative, like these are essential. That I put down, like, it's society, but I validate what happened, what do you think?
You look really good in mine. That's the whole way. Uses the hair. This is deep wave, Brazilian deep wave.
Whatever I can to destroy the
I have some shades in my hair.
I know it's gonna.
The ash.
Yeah, I trust him.
Oh, yeah.
That will, I like that, I leave my son wearing it.
Oh my God. I didn't know you had a baby. I thought that you were super young. How old are you?
This is my real hair, like what I dyed it now.
Yeah.
It was like coming back to life and I just.
Listen, here, goes back.
You're 25.
She should, she might.
Yo, this is my day, you should have kids. Girl, it's still like, one more.
I feel like your father. Like,
I don't know what mom is.
Yeah. We'll let her in.
Oh, you went down?
Was here, the lips make, that, she loved. That's what she was saying, my cousin. And she was like,
We'll let you in.
my daughter is.
I had a couple of
all the time.
So this is where I dyed it.
No, you know when you do well, you do good, good done back, somebody was coming. I'm not suspect.
Try not to answer your calls. Still show up.
I'm not used to coming that late, so I don't know that first door is locked.
And I switched to that.
After 7, after 8 o'clock.
Oh.
Because you have the diet thing at the top. At Gmail, right? I'm waiting, I know.
All right.
It's like, yeah.
I could shoot up.
And then when I graduated college, I had to do it again.
Right.
I was out of my hair.
You dyed your hair.
Back in college, like, Italian, and then they, my ex were like silver. And then I got real grades, so I said, what the heck? So.
It's so fun. That is fun.
I'm gonna get it
First time I was
All right. You guys ready?
Yep.
You gonna sleep? You sad? Okay. 40. The state of New Jersey requires the borrower to be notified that A, the property may be located in a floodplain. B, title to the property, the title policy required by lender does not protect the owner. C, someone other than the owner may be in physical possession of the property. And D, abstractors usually go back no more than 60 years. Who says A? B, C, D? Not sure? Okay, that's E. C or no? All right, correct answer is B. All of them? Yeah.
Wait, which one?
So it's the property may be located or property is located. Is that a New Jersey requirement or is that a HUD requirement? Is HUD federal or state? Federal. So we're talking about state of New Jersey. State of New Jersey requires that lenders tell you that the title insurance policy that you obtain or that they require you to obtain protects the lender only, not the owner. So at an additional cost, you can have an owner's title policy. Got it?
Wow.
41. What? Yeah. 41. In most counties, public records are maintained by A, the local bar association, B, title insurance company, C, Secretary of State's office, or D, county clerk's office. Who says A? B, C, or D? Or I don't know. Correct answer is D. The county clerk's office handles the public records.
County clerk, public record.
Yep. In most, that's what it is. In some counties, they have an actual registrar, totally separate. 42. Any document to be recorded, we already answered this before, must be A, acknowledged, B, prorated, C, prepared, or D, searched. Who says A? B, C, or D? A. A is the correct answer. Before it can be recorded in the state of New Jersey, bless you, you must be acknowledged. And here starts the problems. 43. This year's taxes on property, 2,400, have not been paid. At the August 1st closing, how are they accounted for? Something to, no use calculators yet. Turn off your calculators. Put them away, because I'm going to show you a simple trick. Ready? I'm going to tell you that you do not need a calculator for this particular calculation. So, what is unpaid debt at the time of closing? It's money that the seller has not paid,
It's 8.
and it must be credited to the buyer. So therefore, it's debited from the seller, credited to buyer. Now, the other trick, since you guys are answering everything, the other trick is, so the first thing to remember is unpaid is taken from seller given to buyer, prepaid is taken from buyer given to seller. So if it's unpaid, look for the answer that says debited to the seller. What do we have? We have A, B, and all three say, right? So D is out of the picture. The other thing you got to remember, if I take something from the seller and I give to the buyer, then the amounts are equal, aren't they? Which one of these has equal amounts when it says debit to the seller and credit to the buyer? C. So the correct answer is C. Did you need a calculator?
No.
You just need to understand who gets debited, who gets credited, and the amount is exactly the same.
Okay.
Simple, because I take from one, I give to the other.
So has not been paid, that's debt from the seller.
Unpaid is seller.
Unpaid, the seller.
Prepaid,
Prepaid, the buyer.
yes. Good?
Yeah.
Simple, right? Okay, now you can grab your calculators. Not yet? Okay, good. 44. It says the term proration. I'm trying to connect the projector here. Okay, the term proration. Come on. Refers to, first of all, what is proration?
Prorated. Account for deductions based on what we paid.
So I want you to write on top of proration, adjustment. Adjustments. So proration is an adjustment of costs. So the term proration refers to A, tax due the state of New Jersey at closing. B, the costs that are divided between the buyer and seller. C, a lawyer's statement after studying an abstract. Or D, debits and credits to the buyer and seller. Who says A? B? C? D? I don't know. Correct answer is B.
Wow.
And I'll tell you why. The proration I said is adjustments. So the tax due is definitely wrong. It's not an adjustment, it's an expense. C is an expense. Okay? Now, why is it not D? Because it says debits and credits to the buyer and seller. It does not say that it's the adjustment between them. See, an attorney hired by the buyer is a debit to the buyer only. So this D includes all debits and all credits, while B is the adjustment of unpaid or prepaid bills. You got it? So the term proration, I want you to write adjustment, and in front of it, unpaid and prepaid. Unpaid and prepaid. Ready? Question? Oh, it's B.
Okay.
45. If information about property is in the public records, a potential buyer is assumed to know all about it through the principle of A, constructive notice, B, evidence of title, C, proration, or D, respa. Who says A, B, C, or D? Or I don't know. Okay. If the information of the property is public, remember when I had my tablet and I wrote something? It was available to all. If it's available to all, it's called constructive notice. Once you research, it becomes actual notice. Okay? So the correct answer is A.
44 is B, right?
Yeah.
40, I'm sorry?
I'm going with B.
44 is B, yeah. I'm sorry. You said something?
Constructive notice, I think I'm confused about when you, leave your property because of the landlord.
Oh, constructive eviction.
Yeah, that's right.
So all constructive means that there's a notice given. That's it. When I put into public records, is a notice given. That's it. Once you research it, it's on your hands. It's now actual notice.
Can you remind me before we leave that I have something to ask you about that eviction? Whatever.
Okay. 46.
Can we do the math, please?
Right now?
18.
Yeah, read it and then.
No, yeah, I'm going to read it. I'm going to let you do the math. Yeah. Salesperson Jim lists a house, because I'm going to have to do it here anyway. Lists a house for $200,000 with a 7% commission. The seller accepts an offer of $185,000 from the buyer, produced by a cooperating firm. Jim's broker splits the commission 50-50 with the other company. If Jim receives 60% of commissions and his company keeps 40%, how much does he receive? Go ahead. Break it down. You do it there and I'll do it here. Deal? We'll do the math with you.
We're using calculators now?
Yeah, you can. Now you can. Don't speak. Everybody's doing the same exercise. Thank you. You hope you're right. I'm doing it at the same time as you. Let me know when all of you are finished. Is there anybody that hasn't finished yet? No? You guys still touching calculator, so who hasn't finished? Okay. I'm gonna spend an hour with 4 questions. No, I'm not saying about it. I'm just saying in general. Math takes a little longer than everything else. Hmm? Good? Cool. So, who says A? B? C? D? All right. Just gonna ask you one question. Did you use $200,000 as a number when you did your calculations? No? Did you? Okay. That is incorrect. So let me go here. Correct answer is C. Yep. There you go. It says salesperson Jim lists a house for $200,000 with a 7% commission, right? The seller, what happened? No, forget this side. This is how I break down the question. I'll take everything that's needed from the question. Excuse me. I'll take everything that's needed from the question. You need to understand numbers. So, list the house for $200,000 at a 7% commission. The seller accepts the offer at $185,000. Now, do we close based on listing price or selling price? So this $200,000 means absolutely nothing. Okay, take it out of there.
It would be nice if we could.
Right? On the listing price? Well, not always. Sometimes it goes above the listing price. So 7% commission is what they gave us, right? And it says $185,000. And there's a 50-50 split. So let's start with what's the commission, the gross commission on this? Well, that's what I did right there. $185,000 is the sales price times 7% commission. $12,950 is the gross commission of this particular sale. Now we know that it's a 50-50 split between brokers, correct? Therefore, 12,950 divided by 2 or times 50%, whatever you prefer, says that 6,475 went to one side and 6,475 went to the other side. And that's what we have here, 6,475, the value that we're about to calculate. Now, do we need to know how much the brokerage received? No, because the question is how much Jim received. So this number is not needed. We're trying to figure out what was the 60% that Jim received. Therefore, total commission to Jim's broker was 6,475. 60% of that is 3,885. That's how much went to your pocket. Yes?
You said that 40%.
Do we need the 40%? Are we asking how much the brokerage received? Is that part of the question?
They keep 40 of the 60.
No, they keep 40 of 100%. They split 40, 60. Because 60 plus 40 is 100, right? So his split, Jim's split was 60. So I take all the numbers in the question. I see what I need, what I don't need. Because after reading the second line, most people get lost. You have to go back. So I just write it down and then figure out what's needed, what's not needed. Here's how I do it. You don't have to do it my way. Whatever works for you, works for you.
Okay, I just pressed it on.
Oh, you cross it there. In the computer, you can.
Oh, that's true.
All right? You guys good? All right. 47. Martha receives $100,000 cash from the sale of her house. After paying off $120,000 mortgage, $5,600 in closing costs, and a 6% broker's commission, how much did her house sell for? Have fun.
I don't even know how to approach it. Like, I'm totally confused. I'm done.
Yeah.
So here's what happened. Listen to me. She received $100,000, so that's net. Is that what the property was sold? No. So the property, they receive $100,000 after all the expenses. So if we're trying to figure out how much it's sold for, we don't have to minus the expenses. We have to plus the expenses. But give it a try, and we'll go over it right after. Okay? Why are you looking at that instead of?
I'm not looking at it.
Huh?
I'm not looking
So why are you asking about a wax, please?
No,
No, right now. Excuse me, silent. Thank you very much. No wax, please. That's better. But yes, there is one across the street. Individual. Let's figure out in a little bit. Is everybody ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Ready? Say it again. Somebody's still doing it. But thank you for reminding me. Good? Yeah? Okay. So, who had A, B, C, D? Who didn't have anything at all? Okay.
I have some board, but it's not.
Correct answer is C, as in Charlie.
Great.
Wait, who has C besides me? Me.
Even I like, uh-huh.
Wait, can I say how I did it before? Whoa, this looks. Whoa.
What is that? Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, that's
that's
that.
using his,
I got that, yeah, I did that, I did that.
Okay, can I explain?
Yeah, because
All right.
I'm tight.
So, the question is, Martha received $100,000, so that's the net sales price right on top. After paying a mortgage and after paying closing costs and after paying commission, correct? So remember, it's gross minus net take home, just like your paycheck. Think of the things in between as your paycheck, your deductions, right? So if it's minus, for you to figure out the total, you have to add. But we cannot add percentages. So you start adding, the numbers are right there. So what we did, I added $100,000 net, bless you, plus the mortgage, plus the closing costs. How much was left after paying the commission? Well,
Yeah.
225,600. That's after commission. Do we know what the commission was?
6%.
No. We know 6%, but we don't know what the commission was.
All the amount.
And we do not know what's the gross, do we? Because we don't know 2 out of 3, 6% is not the number to use. See, the gross sales price is 100%, correct? So if we take 6% out, how much do we have? 94, and that's what I did. I put the whole pie here, and I took the slice. How much is left? 94. Well, guess what? This right here is 94% of the total.
That number is among the numbers, math, yeah.
Say it again?
Together.
Say it
That's
again?
the net, the mortgage and the closing together, right?
Yeah. Okay, you want to think about that? Yeah. So that's 94%. After commission, it's 94%, which is that number. Now we got 2 numbers that we can put right here. Now, that number right there, isn't that a portion or a part of the whole value? Right there?
Yeah.
94% is definitely a portion of it. So it goes right here. Top number divides by the bottom number. How much do we have? $240,000 was the sales price. What happened? I did not understand what you said.
Hot mess.
Oh,
I did not do that.
how did you do it? If you'd like to share.
Yeah. So I just did the process of elimination of looking answers.
You did the lazy way.
The what way?
The lazy takes way longer way.
It didn't take long.
Here's the thing, refrain from using that. All right? Because you have to go 225 and let me figure it out. Is that what you did? Then you went 239, let me figure it out.
Well, when you get to a certain step, when you have to add the 100,000 and it doesn't make sense, you go to the next one.
Got it. But what if the numbers were totally different? What if the answer was D? So you wasted time to get to it. That's why I prefer to explain the reasoning behind it so you don't have to go through the answers. When it comes to math, everything else is a lot easier because it's straightforward. But when it comes to math, you have to do a bunch of calculations to figure out if it was A, if it was B, if it was C. Look at everything we went through. So understanding the reasoning. If it's net, it was after all the expenses. If it's gross, is before the expenses, right? So if it's before the expenses, we need to add those expenses to reach the before number, okay? But we get to a point where we can't do anything because of our percentage. And we cannot use the 6% because we don't have neither the gross nor the commission value itself. So what we need to do is get the difference, which is 94. Out of 100, if you take the 6, you get 94. Does that make sense?
That's what you would do at any time, like if you come into that situation, that's what you would do.
If you come at a situation where 2 items are missing, yeah, you look for the difference. It's way easier.
Wow. I'm just gonna start by saying 48, I'm not even an idea how to do it.
I'm going to start by saying we didn't get there yet.
Everything that I did wasn't right,
Why are you on 48 if we're still on 47?
because I finished and already, I was winning everybody, so I kind of like started feeling like.
Gotcha. All right, any question on this before I move?
Wait, let me think.
No pictures allowed. Don't you see it right there? It says no pictures allowed right there.
We're about to change it, though.
Where's it at?
It doesn't.
So I can't record all this time?
Nope.
Damn.
Actually, that says in the contract that you guys signed.
Well, you're recording.
No,
So who reads it, right?
You said no recordings and no pictures?
No recordings, no pictures. It actually even says no cell phones.
You gotta have a cell phone if you have children, and if you don't have children, you have family, and if you don't have family, you have friends.
You have friends?
Yeah.
All right.
You have your recording on.
Oh, yes. Look at how I love. I create my own.
I'm going to refrain from answering right now. So 48.
Vacation shirt on.
Yeah, right?
Is it last
Stay in class.
That's why I wear it like, woo, vacation. No.
You just sort of forget about all of that.
Forget what? Vacation.
Right. That is.
That's right. I don't have any. I already have plans for tomorrow and I have plans for summer. Bunch of open houses and showing properties. That's what I hope for. I'm working with 6 clients right now. So they're all gonna close roughly around the same time, so it's gonna be a great Christmas.
Oh, yes, it will
Joe.
be.
The 24/7.
Right.
Just saying, a house, 48. A house with replacement cost, replacement cost of 170,000 is insured for 80% of its value. Insurance costs 0.75 per $100. How much is the annual premium?
What was that per hundred again?
Percent.
Percent.
Every time you see per 100 means percent. And that's all I'm going to say right now. People are thinking. Do not interrupt the thoughts. Thank you. Just so you know, if you guys speak during the state exam, you get kicked out. So, just saying, start practicing now. There's still people doing it. Thank you. Sorry? I don't know what she's talking about, but okay. How you guys doing? Okay, how you guys doing? Anybody that hasn't finished yet? Okay,
Trying to use your ways.
you're trying to use my way? Hey, look, it's whatever
I went
works.
faster this way.
Yeah?
This time I went faster, yeah.
Cool, cool. So we're just waiting
Let's see if
on,
I got the right answer.
maybe. Ready? Okay. All right, so, who got A? B? C? D? Cool. Correct answer is B as in boy. What the hell?
This time I mean, use the way he's doing it.
And it worked. Flawless. Flawless. There you go.
Get through it. I think he's really sorry.
Listen, flawless. It worked. Okay. All right. Here's what we got. House with a replacement cost of $170,000 is insured at 80% of its value. So if we're trying to figure out annual premium on an insurance, we must use the 80%, not the 170. So the first thing I did over there is try to figure out what's the insurable value. Well, insurable value is 80% of 170,000. And I got $136,000 as an insurable value. That's what the insurance will cover. I'm sorry? That's the 80%. Okay? So it's insured for 80% of its value. They don't pay 100%, they pay 80%. Then I have here that the rate is $0.75 per $100, correct? And I told you that if it says per 100, it means per cent. So I converted $0.75 to 0.75%. Or, if we move the decimals to the right, is 0.0075. Right? It's fine. Whatever. Did you get the right answer? Okay. So 0.075%. We got two numbers. We have the insurable value, and we have the cost of insurance, 0.0075. If you multiply these two, you get the annual premium of $1,020.
So you multiply the 136 times 0.075.
Yeah, so 0.075. 0.0075, sorry.
0.7.
Which number did you get? You got D, you said? But did you use the 170 or the 170? See, 170 is the value of the property, but the insurable value, how much they would insure up to, was 80%. So for you to know, the premium is based on the insurable value. As it says, 80% of it. So that's what the only step you missed. Sorry, you were saying?
I missed too. You didn't get that.
I did the insurable value and divided by 100 and then it was 5.
It works as well. Yeah, same thing.
I didn't get it. Like,
What-
I still don't get it, like, I did it like you have it there, and I still didn't get it.
You did it as I have here? What do you get? What's your result?
But I used 0.75.
It's 0.0075.
You said or.
Which number do you have? You either use the percent or use the
I
decimal.
had, 100 and 102.
You had 102,000.
Yeah, like,
Okay, and we stop right there. Remember when I said, if you get a huge number compared to everything else, you forgot one step? Remember that? Look at the four answers. That 102,000, is there a number that matches it? There is. It's just with less two zeros. So what did you forget? You forgot the per 100.
So I have to do it 0.0075, not.
No, when you got to that point, if you made that mistake, all you gotta remember is that it says per $100. So all you have to do is divide by 100. If you do 102,000, go ahead. 102,000, you divide by 100. What is the answer? You got it? So the only thing that you missed was the 100 per 100. You put 0.75. You never divided it by 100. At one point, whether in the beginning, in the middle, or the end, you have to divide by 100. What I did, so you see it over here, Melanie. What I did is I divided by 100 right away. Because 0.75 divided by 100 is 0.0075. Are you guys understand this? It's just that when I told you, if you see percent, I'm sorry, per 100 means percent, it's just to speed up the process of going straight to a percentage. From dollar to percentage. It's just to help you out. But if you made a mistake and you got a huge number, it matches one of the answers, most likely that is the correct answer, if you've done everything else right. Mm-hmm.
I think you do the 100 from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But you do the 100, the 100 to the 75 in the beginning, it goes right into.
That's what I did. Do it on your calculator. 0.75 divided by 100 gives you this number, 0.0075.
And then find that.
Mm-hmm. That's it. We're good? Okay. There's just a few things to tweak, but you guys, unfortunately, it was just one step that both of you missed, and it happens. Okay? 49. The Simmons tell their broker they have $60,000 a year income and no debts. Underline no debts, so you remember this. If the mortgage plan they are considering uses a qualifying ratio of 2836, what is the highest monthly payment they qualify for?
Let's say ratio of 28, 36.
Qualifying ratios is 28% is housing expense, 36% is housing plus other debts. So we're trying to figure out what is the maximum monthly payment, so that's maximum mortgage that they can afford. And I won't explain anything else for now because you need to think it over. Qualifying ratios, that was in chapter 15.
You said 28 is the mortgage and 36 is expensive?
Mortgage plus other expenses. 2836. 28% is the housing expense, and 36% is housing plus other debts. Can't say much more right now. There's a car honking. Make sure you guys try to turn off your car just in case it's yours.
Martina will not be.
Hmm?
What happened? What?
Maybe. Well, if your car stopped, then go check. If it was yours.
It's not.
I don't know.
Not mine.
It's still mine?
No, but it's not mine.
Somebody breaks it in.
You'll find out when you get downstairs.
They give you a description of the vehicle. They just tell you car's honking.
That's it. All right. Is everybody done? No, it stopped. I guess whoever it was. Is everybody done? All right. So, who got A? B? C? D? Correct answer is A. All right. So let me explain. Guys, don't worry. Let me explain. The question was, Simmons tell their broker that they have $60,000 a year income and no debts. If there's no debts, then the 36 number does not count because 28 is for housing expense only. 36 is housing expense plus other debts. So that's why I crossed out 36. So that number is not used. These numbers are percentages. It's qualifying ratios. That means that the lender will lend the max of 28% of your gross income towards mortgage. So, what is your income? Well, 60,000. So what I did was 60,000 times the 28% tells me that my maximum annual, I wrote annual, mortgage payments will be 16,800. But are they asking for annual or they're asking for monthly? So what do?
There, broker.
Divide by 12. What do you, this is not commission. Look at me, Janine. This is not commission.
No, I'm thinking.
There's no split here.
No, couple.
There's no split.
Oh.
This is the maximum that you're gonna pay in mortgage. So look at me. There's a question. I'm addressing a question. Thank you very much. Okay? Yes? You're hiding behind items?
I heard you.
Okay, thank you. So, what I was saying is, your yearly income is $60,000. We could have done two things here. One is figure out, one of two ways, is figure out what's your monthly gross income. So 60,000 divided by 12, and then do the calculation. Or what I did, figure out what the 28% is, and then divide by 12. What you need to remember first, out of all this, is that they're asking, look what I have the arrows. They're asking for monthly. So you need to remember later on, you got to divide by 12 somewhere. You got it?
So 28 is only.
I was addressing the monthly first. I'm getting to the 28 in a second. So you need to figure out what your monthly income is, right? Or use the yearly income and then divide by 12. The 2836 are qualifying ratios. Again, it's the maximum money that the lender will allow you versus against your income. So if you were to divide 60,000 by 12, for instance, how much would you get? 5,000. Yes, thank you. So what we're saying is that your 5,000 gross monthly income, the max that you can put aside towards mortgage is 28% of that, which is again 1,400. Does that make sense? It's the maximum. So if your mortgage payment is more than that, if the house is more than that, then you won't qualify. So don't even bother looking for houses above that particular value. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You need to know what's your monthly. Now, some lenders have qualifying ratios of 43.55. That means out of those 5,000, they would allow up to 43% towards mortgage. If you had a car, we would add the car payment. So if the car payment was 500, right? Well, 1,400 plus the 500, how much would that be? And is that the 36% or is it more? So do you see what I'm saying? So if it goes above the 36% in this scenario, the lender will still not approve you. Are you guys understanding what I'm saying? Cool. Any questions here?
No.
Yes.
I got the right answer, but when I tried to use the steering wheel, I put the 60,000 at the top because I thought that it's,
Income, right. So the income rate and value is for income properties.
Okay.
In this scenario, you're using the steering wheel for a value, and the value here was the income.
Okay.
So yes, sometimes, like I try to break down the steering wheel to the best possible, but then you have to start understanding how the scenarios would apply.
Yeah.
So value is total or whole. So if you look at the steering wheel, I have whole, like the whole value. If it's a portion of the income, then what's the whole value? It's the total income. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Where in investments, income means a portion of the value. Because you bring certain income to determine the full value, right? So that's why it goes on top in IRV. Okay? Good? Yes? Okay. You sure? 50. I pretty much already gave you this answer in the math chapter, but okay. A 3-acre lot on the lake is priced at $200 per front foot. If it is 1,000 feet deep, what is the asking price? Good luck. Just remember the squirrels, okay?
Squirrels? Do what? Squirrels.
Doesn't answer.
I mean, it does, but I don't know how.
so you guys know, this is my first time doing all these quizzes. Not these quizzes. Thank God I'm going right on all of them. Imagine screwing up life. And no, I'm not that good at math, but I think this steering wheel and the process for the area simplified it for me. Everybody got it? Who's missing? Hmm? You give up? Okay. All right. You give up too?
Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna be the parents. I got one second. I wanna wait till you start calling A, B, C.
The correct answer is C. Michelle's like, I got one. Yes.
Finally.
All right. Correct answer is C. Let me explain why. All right. Let me explain why. The question is, a 3-acre lot is priced at $200 per front foot. If it's 1,000 feet deep, what is the price of this lot, right? So the first thing you need to remember is that you have to draw the lot, first thing. And then just like the steering wheel, what do? Put the numbers that you have there. Which numbers do we have? We have 3 acres. But can I put 3 acres in the area? I told you guys in math that area is always expressed in square feet. Yes.
Just one thing. When I multiplied 43,506 times 3, I get 130,680, not 560.
Yeah, I did something wrong. Maybe I had it. Yeah, it's me because I did 560 there. You're right. It was me. Easy, easy. All right. So where did I get this number from? Hold on. I'm explaining. Let one person explain. It'll be a lot easier. Okay. So here's the thing. I told you to remember the squirrels.
How
4 squirrels going down Route 35 at 60 miles an hour. Why do we need to know the squirrels? Because area is always expressed in square feet. So acres is not the number we need to use. We need to bring it back to square feet. If it says it's 3 acres, then you multiply 3 by 4 squirrels going down Route 35 at 60 miles an hour. And the number you get is 130,680 square feet. So the area, 130,680 square feet. And they told us that the lot is 1,000 feet deep, correct? Did they tell us the front foot? No. So that's why I have the question mark right there. But how do we obtain the front foot if we have the other 2? We multiply the area by the outside number.
Divide it or multiply?
I'm sorry, we divide the area by the outside number, always. So we divide 130,680, divide by 1,000. And that number is 130.68 width that I put right there. So inside divided by the outside gives us the other number we need. So how big or how wide is the lot? It's 130 feet wide. Okay, 130 feet, 0.68. And then they said that it's sold at $200 a front foot. What is front foot? It's the width. It's the frontage. It's this part right here. Okay? So if it's $200 a front foot, well, we have 130.68 feet, front feet, times $200. The value of this property is 26,136. Good? Awesome.
I just need one mistake.
No, I gotta work a little.
Got it?
Everything
This
else.
last one, yeah, this last one was later.
Say, I can hear it. Say it again. You multiplied 1 acre is 43,560 square feet. So the 4 squirrels. Yeah, on Google. So state exam, no Google. How do I get the square feet? 1 acre is 43,560 square feet. 4 squirrels, Route 35, 60 miles an hour. All right, guys, let me ask you something, because we're not done. We still have 7 minutes, so I got questions for you. All right, hold, guys, we're still in class. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. What's your question, Michelle? You got the right answer?
Yeah.
Good. So, what did you do?
I took the 435.60, I multiplied by 3. And then the answer I got, I divided by 200.
Yeah, that's what I did too.
And
sorry. I'm sorry.
I don't know.
What did you do again?
I don't know.
Go back to what you did.
35.60, I multiplied by 3, and I divide the answer by 200.
So,
Yeah. No.
But you see, what happened was, for me.
You get a big number.
She did. Yeah, I got a million number, I just took off the zeros and I found.
So all you forgot, wait. So all you forgot, guys, all you forgot is the same thing that she forgot before. She forgot to divide by 100. You guys forgot to divide by 1,000. That's what you did at the end. It's perfectly fine.
So it's.
Yep, it's fine.
All right.
It's okay. All right, so 6 minutes. Question.
if I do all the same time like I did today, I'm screwed. I'll have to sign up for the class.
Okay, so I have a question for you guys. Aside from the delays, and unfortunately, not my fault at one point. At one point, it was my fault because it was hardware. Aside from the delays, did you guys enjoy the class?
Yeah.
What would you change about the class if you could? Yes.
I would change personal, like people sharing their personal endeavors.
Okay.
Like, they're selling and buying and whatever, those type of conversations, I would prefer them to be at the end.
Okay.
Or like the person conversation between that person.
I kind of agree and I kind of disagree for one reason. Sometimes it is extended, yes, go round and round circles, some things that we can't address at that particular moment. But sometimes, just like I try to do in my examples, personal experience or things that are currently happening, so experience refers to past or present, but things are happening or might happen, are relatable in a particular example. So sometimes it's good. And that's why I try to make my class as personal as possible. But yes, sometimes it does go completely off topic, like people breaking into homes, if it does happen. So this is for Raphael if he's watching from home. Hold on. Yes.
Even if they had questions during class, like write them down.
Okay. I did mention a bunch of times that if you have a question, write it down. I'll address it later. So if I don't address right away, yeah, so I addressed that. But unfortunately, okay. So children's already difficult to teach. Adults is way more difficult. See, children are compulsive, but you can say, hey, go to your corner. Children are easier in that sense. Adults, you cannot put them in their corner. And unfortunately, even sometimes the people pointing the fingers are the ones doing the same thing. So I cannot go like, hey, it's you, or it's you, or it's you, please stop this. Because all of you at one point do the same thing.
Not extensively.
But you do the same thing. Teja?
Okay.
You would change the temperature?
Yeah.
No, the air conditioner is here.
I personally can't control it because I'm not outside all the time, so it's the way the AC works. Sorry?
I will change that, I think like it's going too fast, that is so hard to comprehend everything. I understand when you explain it, the questions that everybody do, all of that. But for, maybe everybody's different, the way they learn.
And those things too.
Their questions.
And those things too.
Their
And those
questions
things too.
Me too.
All the time.
She's not even listening.
No. Yes.
So, like everybody learn different.
But I pick
So
on
it's-
Janine since
So
before.
that will be hard
Mhm.
for like, even for me, I feel like it just goes so quick and like so much information
Okay.
that you end up like leaving the most important for some reason out.
Not always. Again, I'll agree.
It's a kind of learn the people.
So I'll agree with you, but I also disagree with you, just the same, because there's always pros and cons to everything.
Yeah.
So I'll address that part of going fast with both you, Janine, and the rest of the people, but I'll say mainly you guys. One, Janine, because you're always, most of the times you're here late, so there's an
Oh,
interrupt.
I
No,
am.
hold on. There's interruptions. Dr. Kevin gets here late, there's interruptions. Rafael gets here late, there's interruptions. So I'm talking about the interruption side of it, okay? And then there's you and Heidi, for instance, with the constant questions before I even finished answering or explaining. So, exactly, thank you very much. Constant questions or interruptions without me finishing. My point is, it gets to a point where if I will answer your questions, right? I will address your questions either right now or in a little bit. The problem is if I stop for every question, then it limits my time on a particular chapter. So then I have to speed up. Does that make sense? So it's not that I'm not going to answer the question itself, is we get to a point where, all right, let's move.
Yeah, but
So
that's for.
the topic goes faster.
That's for unnecessary question, but sometimes when we don't understand something, and probably she asked, and you explained that way she understand, but maybe I didn't understand, you have to explain another way, and then I didn't understand that way, you have to explain another way, and then somebody else, it could also explain,
No.
and I know that.
And I
goes
do
along.
try to answer. The problem is, as I'm answering, somebody tends to interrupt as I'm answering. You see what I'm trying to say? So I do try in different ways, and I think I've shown you guys how many ways I can answer. But there's always an interruption by somebody. And I'm not saying one person in particular, I'm talking about in general. There's an interruption. So that's, Melanie, that's what I was saying, that limits me and my ability to bring the information at that moment.
I didn't mean to say anything, I'm just saying it because I didn't want to say
No, you should.
nothing, like, and that's what.
But you have
the
to
only
speak up, that's
thing-
why I'm asking what would be.
Well, that would be the only thing about class, like the rest.
So to answer that, the only way is don't speak, let me finish, and then I become rude too. So that's the thing. If somebody interrupts as
So
I'm
your next class,
sorry?
so your next class, what I learned from my previous class was.
Yeah, you open up your mouth, you have to shut up.
Like,
As I'm
no,
explaining.
no, like,
Because that's where it's gonna be. It's gonna be
You
rude.
could be nice, let me try to be nice, okay?
Okay,
You
go
be
ahead.
like, well, I learned something from my previous class.
Mhm.
Before you guys do questions, let me finish, because like that, it gave me more time to explain you guys to the whole chapter. If you guys don't let me finish, I will have to go faster to
Okay.
the chapter, and you guys will not maybe comprehend all the information.
So with that being said, I mentioned that 3 times throughout these 4 weeks.
Okay, I know you did, but I'm saying, for your next class.
For the not mine, because I'm here. So it's your next class. Yes.
I was just gonna say maybe, you could implement going over some of the review questions at the end of the, if you find time, at the end of the, class, or put
Mhm.
that into the course, because it's good to sometimes go over questions with the teacher
Yes.
and.
So initially, when we started, I said that was the original intention. You guys do it at home, and then the next day I'll review it. But like I said, there was so many interruptions, there were so many delays. I was falling behind, and I'm finishing the chapter on the next day versus its particular day. So then I'm always catching up, right? Another thing I had is after chapter 8, we did reviews. And then I was supposed to do it after chapter 16, but we didn't have the time for it. So for the next class, the classes start at 6:30 instead of
That's what
7.
I was about to say. Like, change the time.
I had to.
Start at 7, that says, like.
I had to, because for this class, I learned that 3 hours is definitely not enough if there's constant interruptions.
I mean,
When I planned the classes, the 3 hours, for me was more than enough time to address everything, right? Because I planned it out. I have almost 4 years teaching this particular course, so I know exactly how long I take in each chapter. So my math for the hours was based on the experience and still being able to do the reviews that particular day that I had set to do.
okay, Bruno.
Like today and yesterday.
Let me tell you this. As you explained earlier, we all adults, right? We all have responsibilities and things to do.
We have Sebastian, who's a minor.
Some people, like, I bet he has his own, but
It's still on.
maybe not as minor. But sometimes, right? Everybody, like, some people get on time, some people get like 15 minutes later, or some people get like 2 or 1 hour later in class. Not everybody have a car, maybe somebody's depending on a ride, maybe somebody have a schedule to get in here, and they try.
That's a good answer.
But you don't
Go.
know what I'm gonna say after let me finish. So
Go.
what I'm trying to say, everybody has their own monkey, right?
Yes.
And it's not your monkey. So you will not be able to stop people coming late, even though you said 6:30, somebody's still gonna come late. So what
I
I
can.
will advise you to tell your next class is, when you come in and do the walk, Melanie.
What walk is that?
It's too much.
Yeah, you don't hear me when I come in. You see me.
When you come in.
Oh,
We smell you, we hear you, she says.
Don't even go there.
All right.
When they come in.
Other than that, I think
Don't
your class, your class was great. Thank you very much for teaching.
Thank you.
And if I have any questions, I will be.
Awesome. And that's what I was going to address before I send you home, is if you have any questions, feel free to text me or email me. Do not call me.
Now, what's
Text
your
or email, 908-418-8325. Text me.
908.
Why are you here?
I'm just saying.
908.
You're here because I did answer.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Ah.
Yeah, that one, yeah, once.
908
418
418.
8325.
Okay.
And guys, if you haven't seen, I've been promoting the next class. If you guys can, and if you guys will, I appreciate all the referrals possible. You do have your cards, right? Everybody has the referral cards?
Yeah, I gave them all that.
Yep.
I don't.
You don't? Yours is right here waiting. You were on vacation, I'm sorry.
Wait. I was gonna say maybe you can implement, tutoring as an additional clause for the people who.
I am working on that. I do have the online tutoring, so the site where I address so you guys ask questions, like Melanie asked a bunch of questions. I'm about to do the answers. She texted me a bunch of questions. I'm about to do the answers. That's why the green screen is here. That's what I'll be doing either this weekend or throughout the Monday and Tuesday. But that's what it is for. You got questions, I'll answer. As far as actually tutoring one-on-one, I do have something coming up. It's just that between starting a new school, starting new realty, putting it all together,
It's a lot.
it's a lot. So I am working on that. We're recruiting 2 instructors to join us, very good people, and they will be able to assist in the tutoring portion or in the class if I'm not here. So it's gonna be awesome. Okay?
Is one of them
Thank you.
a woman?
Yes. Why?
Okay. Some people learn
Well,
different,
nice
like
to
what
meet you guys.
guys, some people like that was
You know, I'm gonna meet you up on Facebook.
Good.
You can make that face if you want.
I think it's this one. Hold on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's like.
Bye.